Hello guys, welcome to the new and improved past due comic reviews. Yes, I know I haven't been uploading that much since I think my last upload was in September. But, I had schoolwork and schoolwork takes priority. But I'm now back and I'm not making a promise to this new thing, this new schedule, or I'm not giving out a new schedule because, you know, things tend to fall apart when I say I have a plan. So I'm just going to go with the flow, bring you guys some good reviews. And speaking of good reviews, today I'm going to be reviewing Star Wars Shattered Empire, issue number 1. So let's get into it. The comic opens up at the end of episode 6, where, as many of you know, that was when the Battle of Endor took place and the second Death Star blew up. The first page is a splash page. It shows Luke battling Vader, Han, and the ground troops fighting on Endor, and the space dogfights, which are especially cool. It starts to focus on a pilot named Green 4. She turns out to be a pretty good pilot, but just as she and her team are making an approach, one of her teammates gets blown up, and, that kind of messes with morale. But we cut to after the shields have gone down and Lando flies into the Death Star. You know the scene I'm talking about. Well, it's right after that where we see Green 4 start to fly around and she starts to target a shuttle that's leaving the Death Star. But then, when she's about to pull the trigger or shoot it down, we find out that that is Luke Skywalker's ship. At least we now know how he got away without getting shot down. But, fast forwarding a little bit, it then cuts to Endor after the Death Star has already blown up. And you know the scene in Episode 6, the special edition one where fireworks are going off and everyone's cheering and it goes around the galaxy? Yeah, it's there. Special edition. And on the planet, we find out that Green 4's real name is Shara, or Shara. I'm not sure. Star Wars has some tricky pronunciation. Anyways, she spends some time looking for her husband, and she eventually finds him in this weird tent, and they walk off. It is here I should mention that her husband's last name is Dameron, and if any of you have seen Star Wars Episode 7, you know who has the last name Dameron. Poe. Arguably the coolest character in Star Wars Episode 7, Poe Dameron. And if you don't know who that is, go see that movie. It's the best $12 you're going to ever spend, at least currently. We cut to the next morning where we see Han Solo giving a briefing. He tells them about another Empire base located on the far side of the moon that they're going to go and attack. And he's asking for volunteers. She, of course, volunteers because her husband is in the operation. We cut to her in the ship where we see her strafe the base and clear a path, dropping stormtroopers left and right. She basically has the opportunity to drop off the troops right at the base's front door. She stays in the ship as they run off and go into the base, and they clear it out. They quickly overrun that base. But after a while, Han and the troops finally come out, and with a not so startling surprise, Han says, "It's not over." So, yeah, who thought the war was over?
Oh, so my thoughts on this issue. Well, first off, I really liked the art. Like, the art was really good. Especially the cover, because I know that's Phil Noto. I know some of you guys might not like him, but I personally love his artwork. But, the story, the pacing. Pacing was alright. It wasn't the best, but it wasn't the worst. And the new characters, they seem interesting. I mean, they're Poe Dameron's parents, and, being the parents of like one of the best characters in episode 7 is something to be proud of. Plus we still have our old characters, Han, Chewie, C3PO. They're there. And I think that this will be pretty cool. And I'm gonna follow the series. Well, actually I think it's only four issues. Yeah. I'm gonna be reviewing all 4 of the issues. But for the first issue, I actually really like this. And also, if you're interested in like learning more about the 30-year time gap between episodes 6 and 7, I highly suggest that you go and pick up, I think it's called Before the Awakening. Yeah, Star Wars Before the Awakening. It's a prequel to Star Wars Episode 7, and it tells 3 stories about Finn, Rey, and Poe, and it's actually pretty nice. It's not a long read, but I highly suggest it to any Star Wars fan or any fan of, yeah, just Star Wars. It's a really good book. But my overall opinion of this book, I really liked it. I suggest you buy it. Oh, and one more thing. When it comes to my reviews, I don't spoil everything. I've cut out a big part of this. I do that because, I still want people to go and buy the comic books. Although for some of my Batman reviews, I have like kind of given away the entire plot of the book. But, they're weekly issues, so it doesn't matter. I mean, there's not much in them. But I basically give you like the cliff notes of these bigger books. Anyways, as always, if you liked the if you liked this review, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. But you might want to reconsider, sparing my feelings. Anyways, if you want to leave me a comment and letting me know what else I should review, please do. And bye. Also, if you feel like hitting that subscribe button, you might as well just hit it.